the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, which shall be the interim government or the governing body in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region during the transition, and provides for its powers and functions. Mr. Speaker, the salient deletions and amendments to the original House Bill 444994 to conform to the Philippine Constitution are as follows. Under the original provision of 4994, in the preamble, it has a weak reference to the Constitution by merely stating, in consonance with the Constitution, that has been replaced by the substitute bill, and we have placed the words under the Constitution. These are the words of the Constitution. And it says in the preamble that the Bangsamoro government shall be within the framework of the Constitution and the national sovereignty, as well as the national territorial integrity of the Republic of the Philippines. In Article 1, the law was proposed to be called Bangsamoro Basic Law. That has now been changed, and this law shall be known and cited as the Basic Law of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. This is not a basic law of the nation of the Moros or the Bangsamoro. This is the basic law of a region, of an autonomous region. So clearly under Article 1, we have already made clear that what we have is not just the Bangsamoro. What we have is a Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. It's a mere region of our country under one republic, one flag, and one national government. Under Section 2 on the name, the previous provision would state, the name of the political entity under this basic law shall be the Bangsamoro, period. This has been changed to state, the name of the political entity under this basic law shall be the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, to clearly emphasize that they are a region of the national sovereignty of the Republic of the Philippines. Article 3 has been changed. The title before was territory. It has been changed by the ad hoc committee, Mr. Speaker, to now read Article 3, geographical area of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, because under the Montevideo Convention on what is a state has people, territory, government, and sovereignty. The Bangsamoro has no territory of its own. It will have its Bangsamoro geographical area. On the contiguous territory, this is now the opt-in. Under the opt-in provision, it was just clear that upon a petition of the registered voters approved by the majority of the qualified votes cast in a plebiscite, this has been amended to conform to the Constitution so that the nearby contiguous provinces of Maguindanao, which are North Cotabato and Sultan Kudarat, and Lanao del Sur, the contiguous areas of North Cotabato and Lanao del Norte, including Iligan City, will not worry, because we have amended this by stating that the inclusion of the local government unit or geographical area in the Bangsamoro shall be effective upon approval by a majority of the votes cast in the plebiscite of the political units directly affected. And therefore, if the barangay is in a city, for example, the city of Iligan, where 6 barangays are contiguous to Lanao del Sur, not only the barangays will vote, but the entire city of Iligan, which is 92% Christian. So how can they be absorbed, these 6 barangays, to Lanao del Sur? The same is true in the Sultan Kudarat and North Cotabato, where if there are barangays that are contiguous to the Maguindanao, not only the barangays will vote for inclusion in the Bangsamoro, the entire province will vote, because a barangay affects the municipality. If the municipality affects the province, because when a barangay is removed with its people and land, it will affect the land area of the municipality and its population, and it will also affect the entire province, and the entire province will vote. And there is no way, there's no chance that the Christian-dominated provinces of Sultan Kudarat of 90% Muslim, 5% Christian, and also North Cotabato will vote to join the Bangsamoro. This is the amendments now of our ad hoc committee. On general principles, Mr. Speaker, there is a provision here under Article 14 that the Bangsamoro abides by the principle that the country renounces war as an instrument of national policy, adopts the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land, and adheres to the policy of peace, equality, justice, freedom, cooperation, and amity with all nations. The second paragraph is completely deleted because renouncing war is stating that they adopt the generally accepted principles of international law pertains to the national government of the Republic of the Philippines, and no region can also state that they renounce war, that they will be adopting accepted principles of international law, completely deleted because these are characteristics of sovereignty. Sovereignty which only pertains to the Republic of the Philippines. Also on the powers of government, instead of only having 9 powers retained by our central government, the national government, we have included, Mr. Speaker, banking. Banking which has been given as a exclusive power. Banking is now restored back to the national government so that there will be one rule of all banks from those in Manila with offices in the Bangsamoro. Banking is now back as a reserve power of the national government. Secondly, we have likewise restored the powers of the Ombudsman. While the BBL previous provision states that the primary disciplining authority for the Bangsamoro officials is the Bangsamoro government, no more. It is now the Ombudsman that has primary responsibility to investigate Bangsamoro officials because we have restored the powers of the Ombudsman back to the reserved powers of the national government. And we have included also, which was not found in the proposed BBL, this particular statement so that all the powers will be with the national government. And that is why number 11 states, all other powers not granted to the Bangsamoro government by this basic law are reserved with the national government. Mr. Speaker, on concurrent powers, the Bangsamoro auditing body shall only now become not the Bangsamoro Commission on Audit in capital letters, but the Bangsamoro Auditing Office shall only be an internal auditing office responsible to internal audit, but according to Section 2, under the substitute bill, this internal auditing body shall be without prejudice to the power, authority, and duty of the Commission on Audit to examine, audit, and settle all accounts pertaining to the revenues and use of the funds and property owned and held in trust by any government instrumentality, including government-owned corporations in the Bangsamoro. On the civil service, it was stated here in capital letters that there shall be a Bangsamoro civil service. No more. Under the amendment, it now states there is hereby a civil service office, just an office, not a commission, an office for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region that shall be under the power, authority, and duty of the National Civil Service Commission. And on the statement of the old bill that says that the Bangsamoro shall have primary disciplinary authority over its own officials and employees, Mr. Speaker, the new substitute bill now provides the disciplining authority of the Bangsamoro over its own officials and employees is without prejudice to the constitutional powers, duties, and authority of the Office of the Ombudsman to investigate any act or omission of any public official, employee, office, or agency. Clearly, we have made the provisions on COA, provisions of civil service, and the provisions of the Ombudsman already conform to the Constitution by making them either regional office and under the national constitutional bodies. Also, we have added a definition to asymmetrical relation, because asymmetrical relation has been questioned, that it may be like the associative relationship that was declared unconstitutional by the case of MOA AD, North Cotabato case. That's why you have added the definition to be clear on what is asymmetrical relationship. These additional words are put by your ad hoc committee in the substitute bill. Asymmetric relationship refers to the relationship between the national government and the Bangsal government as an autonomous region, wherein the autonomous regions are granted more powers and less intervention from the national government compared to other territorial or political subdivision like the local government units, province, city, municipality, and barangay. That's all there is to it. It has just more powers and lesser intervention than the LGUs. On the Bangsamoro government, here is another contentious provision which we have amended to conform to the Constitution. Under the Bangsamoro Electoral Code, under the old provision, it says, there is hereby created a Bangsamoro Electoral Office that shall perform the functions of the COMELEC. We have made it clear that in this particular case, the Bangsamoro Electoral Office is now states under the new substitute bill. There is hereby created a Bangsamoro Electoral Office which shall be the regional office of the Commission on Elections and which shall perform the functions of the National Commission on Elections in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. So it is now a mere regional office so that the National COMELEC and the COMELEC and Bank shall govern even the affairs of political affairs in the autonomous region of the Bangsamoro. And then because we believe that the third requirement of a state is sovereignty, we have removed Article 8, all the four sections on the Wali. The Wali has been deleted. Why? Because under Section 1, it states under the old provision, there shall be a Wali who shall be the titular head of the Bangsamoro. As titular head, the Wali shall take on only ceremonial functions. There can be no ceremonial leader. There can be no titular leader for a mere region of our country. Our country, with our president, is both the head of government and the head of state. Only the president shall be the titular head of even the region, because the region is a mere part of the national government. And so therefore, we have removed the Wali to make sure that there is no sovereignty. These are characteristics of sovereignty. Having territory, we have changed territory to Bangsamoro area. Wali, no more titular head. They are a mere region of our country and they remain as such. All the four sections of the Wali had been deleted by the ad hoc committee. It is very clear also that in the case of the basic rights, there has been a complaint from the indigenous peoples that this bill, the original bill, did not include the Republic Act, the IPRA. This is the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. Your committee made sure that all the rights of the indigenous peoples shall be protected and recognized, because the new version of the bill now states the Bangsamoro government recognizes the rights of non-Moro indigenous peoples in accordance with the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, for the first time mentioned, to assure our non-Moro indigenous peoples that they will be protected. And we have included more. We have also placed there, in accordance with the IPRA, the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UNDRIP, is likewise stated that we will not diminish the Moro, the non-Moro indigenous peoples' rights, and furthermore, included that the Bangsamoro government shall recognize the rights of the non-Moro indigenous peoples by including it shall always also be in accordance with the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights. Also, Mr. Speaker, we have assured that Christian settlers are protected. They are protected in the lands in our bill. All the lands occupied, possessed untitled by the Christian settlers will not be disturbed, will not be taken away from them, and are respected. And that if there is a call for justice because Muslim brothers have been dispossessed illegally, they will not be returned to the Muslims, but there will be a transitional justice commission where those displaced by the Christian settlers will not get back their lands, but they will be paid by the national government and the Bangsamoro to assure there is transitional justice, but the Christian settlers are settled in their possession of the lands that they have presently possessed now. And that is why we have included in the ad hoc committee's version this phrase, "No person in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region shall be subjected to any form of discrimination on account of creed, religion, ethnic origin, parentage, or sex." Meaning, creed, religion, ethnic origin, Christian settlers, Mr. Speaker, are protected under this no discrimination clause. Christian settlers in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region are very well protected under the no discrimination clause in the Bangsamoro Bill. Also, non-Moro indigenous people shall be respected. Those with ethnic origins different from our Muslim brothers or parentage will not be discriminated. Also, Mr. Speaker, the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, under the old provisions, this Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission shall be independent from the National Commission on Human Rights. It was also given prosecutorial powers not even given to the National Commission on Human Rights. Mr. Speaker, your ad hoc committee has changed this, and it now reads that the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission shall be under the jurisdiction and supervision of the Commission on Human Rights in carrying out its mandate. Likewise, we have removed the prosecutorial powers of the Regional Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission. Again, to make this provision conform to the Constitution. How about the public order and safety? About the police? Under the old provision, the Bangsamoro government was given the primary responsibility. So they will be in control of the Bangsamoro police because they have primary responsibility. That has now been changed, Mr. Speaker. It now clearly reads, Article 10, Public Order and Safety, the Bangsamoro government shall have joint responsibility with the national government over public order. It's now joint because while they are there, the national government should likewise have that responsibility. And furthermore, while the old provision creates a Bangsamoro police that is created by the Bangsamoro government, not anymore under this particular amendment to the bill, because now it now reads, Bangsamoro Police. There is hereby created a Bangsamoro Police which shall be organized, maintained, supervised, and utilized by, and be an integral part of the Philippine National Police. Clearly, the Bangsamoro Police will be organized, staffed, maintained to be an integral part of the Philippine National Police. And therefore, the Bangsamoro Police is under the Chief PNP, under the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, and the Bangsamoro Police is under the President of the Republic of the Philippines. We have likewise in defense and security. Before, the statement in the previous law states that the central government may create a Bangsamoro Command. And that has raised a lot of questions on the Bangsamoro Command that may be separate from the armed forces. No more. This has been completely deleted, this command. The new provision of the bill that you're going to vote on provides the defense and security of the Bangsamoro shall be the responsibility of the national government. The national government may create a unit or units of the armed forces for the Bangsamoro, which shall be organized, maintained, and utilized in accordance with national laws. No more Bangsamoro Command of the Armed Forces. What we will have are units to be established under the armed forces of the Philippines. So the change from command to a unit or units of the armed forces, which shall all be organized in accordance with our armed forces law. On fiscal autonomy, auditing, Section 2.
Payag ni Congressman Rufus Rodriguez sa plenaryo sa ngayon kung saan inimpisa niya itong pagtalakay sa mga justification kung paano isusulong itong Bangsamoro Basic Law na pinalitan nga po ng pangalan to Basic Law ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. At dito po ipinapaliwanag niya yung mga probisyon na kanilang ipinasok, partikular ng ad hoc committee na pinamumunuan niya na naaayon daw sa konstitusyon at binabanggit dito yung mga patakaran kaugnay ng gagawing pagpapatupad ng sa Commission on Audit, yung mga auditing concerns nitong Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, ang issue kaugnay ng seguridad at isa rin po ay nabanggit din niya yung kaugnay pa rin ng diskriminasyon at sovereignty. Partikular po itong issue ng diskriminasyon na binabanggit ni Congressman Rodriguez na yung original na panukala dito sa Bangsamoro Basic Law ay sinasabi nga na magkakaroon ng parliament kung saan magkakaroon lamang ng 2 representante itong parlamento mula sa indigenous people. Ito po yung minoridad gaya po ng Kristiyano o di kaya indigenous people sa kanilang lugar. Pero sa pagkakataong ito ay pinapaliwanag ni Congressman Rodriguez na hindi naman daw magkakaroon ng diskriminasyon. Pero kung ito pong mga paliwanag na ito ay makakalusot sa Senado, ayun po ang isa sa mga aantabayanan natin na mga Pilipino.